Top 10 Anime Movies to Watch Online. When it comes to anime films, the one name that dominates the field is none other than Studio Ghibli. But what if you want to watch something that isn't Ghibli? Shocking, I know, but there are films out there. From the old to the new, this list will give you the best top 10 standalone anime films to watch and where you can find them. Films that have been made by Studio Ghibli and anime series that have films won't be included. So let's dive in. Starting off our list is director Satoshi Kon's sci-fi psychological thriller film Paprika, based off Yasutaka Tsutsui's 1993 novel of the same name. Paprika tells the story of a future where a new psychotherapy treatment called dream therapy can be used to view people's dreams and see their unconscious thoughts. I know what you're thinking, but this actually came before Inception. When one of these devices is stolen and reality and dreams start to converge, it's up to Paprika, the alter ego of Atsuko Chiba, who is one of the doctors who helped create the dream technology, to discover the reason behind the merging and put things right again. A trippy and slightly crazy film, it definitely reminds us a little bit of Miyazaki's Spirited Away. Although Paprika is one you might have to watch more than once to wrap your head around it. Available to rent or buy on the Amazon Store, Apple TV, the Microsoft Store, and Chili. This film we definitely recommend checking out. Number 9, Tokyo Godfathers. Now this isn't some take on the classic mob movie The Godfather, despite what the title sounds like. If anything, it's more like the comedy Three Men and a Baby. When three homeless people discover an abandoned baby on Christmas Eve, it's up to them, an alcoholic named Jin, a former drag queen called Hana, and a runaway teenage girl called Miyuki, to track down the baby's family and return her safely home. But I forgot to mention that whilst trying to learn how to take care of a baby, they must also deal with the Yakuza, hitmen disguised as maids, and their own pasts. That sounds like a lot of work. Tokyo Godfathers is a fun adventure with some deeper themes, such as accepting one's own self, running throughout, and it's available to rent or buy on Chili, Apple TV, or the Amazon Store. Number 8, In This Corner of the World. This award-winning masterpiece is set in 1930s to 1940s Japan in Kure City, a large naval port city 15 miles from Hiroshima. It tells the story of 18-year-old Suzu Hojo, who marries a judicial civilian officer, Shusaku Hojo, who works at the military court in Kure. Suzu moves to Kure to live with Shusaku and his family. Once there, she must battle through the hardships of living through the Second World War, whilst trying to keep the family alive and well. When an air raid attacks Kure City, Suzu loses many cherished items, and the true horrors of war are brought front and center. But then the summer of 1945 arrives, and the war takes on a whole new meaning. Praised for its beautiful animation and storytelling, In This Corner of the World gives a realistic light to the hardships that everyday people went through in Japan at the time of the war. So if you want to give it a watch, you can buy it or rent it from the Amazon Store, Apple TV, or the Sky Store. Or you can just stream it on Netflix. Kind of a problem here. If you guys don't like this video, Senpai won't notice me. Oh, phew. Thanks for clicking like. I'm sure he'll look at me now. Number 7, Millennium Actress. Now you might think that we're being a little biased, as this is the third film on our list, which is directed by Satoshi Kon. But that's just because the movies he makes are just that good. When the prestigious Ginie Studios goes bankrupt and has to close down, TV interview Genya Tachibana and his cameraman Kyoji Ida decide to film a retrospective interview with the studio's most well-known star, Chiyoko Fujiwara. Despite her retiring 30 years ago, after Chiyoko is handed a key from her past, she starts reflecting on her life. Events from Chiyoko's life are interwoven with scenes from films she has appeared in, giving the story a surreal feeling as reality and fiction are merged together. Why is this key so important, and who gave it to her? If you want to find out, you'll have to watch the film, which can be rented on the Amazon Store. Number 6, Ninja Scroll. For those of you who love a good ninja action film, then Ninja Scroll is the one for you. The film is set in the Edo period Japan and tells the story of a rogue ninja, Kibagami Jubei, who is poisoned and told he will receive the antidote once he has killed the 8 devils of Kimon, ninjas with special abilities who are employed by the Yamashiro clan to protect their gold mines at all costs. Along the way, Jubei meets Kagero, a woman who had all but given up wanting to live. But as the quest continues, the two grow closer until they finally confess their love to one another. While Ninja Scroll isn't the most complex of stories, its fight scenes are epic and the plot fairly simple to follow. And for an action film based around ninjas, what more could you want? Available to rent from the Amazon Store, this is a great film to kick back and relax with. Number 5. Ghost in the Shell 1 and 2. You might have heard of this one before, as it was recently adapted into a live-action film in 2017, with Scarlett Johansson playing the lead role. But before its big Hollywood debut, Ghost in the Shell actually started off as an anime film, set in Japan in 2029. The story follows a cyborg public security agent called Motoko Kusanagi, who is hunting a mysterious hacker known as the Puppet Master, who takes over people's consciousness and gets them to do as he wants. But with the government seemingly too eager to get their hands on the Puppet Master, is everything as it seems. With quite deep themes such as philosophical look at self-identity in a technologically advanced world, the narrative takes a close look at what it means to be human. Don't worry though, as there's plenty of action to keep you hooked if the whole philosophical approach isn't for you. Ghost in the Shell is available to buy or rent on Apple TV, the Amazon Store, or the Sky Store. Number 4. A Silent Voice. Naoko Yamada's 2016 hit A Silent Voice tells the story of a boy called Shoyo Ishida, who when he was a child bullied a deaf girl named Shoko Nishimiya. After a particular incident which led to Shoko transferring schools, Shoyo is shunned by the rest of the school for being a bully, leading to his lonely status when he moves up into high school. But when he decides to right his past wrongs, his whole life is turned upside down. A beautiful tale of redemption, friendship, and love. A Silent Voice will have you reaching for the tissues, but in a good way. It's available to buy or rent on the Amazon Store, Google Play, Apple TV, and YouTube, or you can just stream it on Netflix. Number 3. Wolf Children. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to raise 2 wolf children? No? Well, neither have we really. But for Hana, this is her reality. When college student Hana falls in love with the enigmatic Owakami, the last thing she thought he'd tell her is that he can turn into a wolf, although his name kind of gives it away. After a tragedy causes Hana to lose Owakami, she moves to the countryside with her children, Yuki and Ame, who can also turn into wolves, to try and teach them everything they need to know before they decide whether to stay human or become wolves. The film won critical acclaim with its attention to detail and its somewhat predictable but nonetheless moving story. Wolf Children is available to rent or buy on the Amazon Store or on Apple TV. Number 2, Akira. Now this is a film most of us have probably heard of, even if we haven't seen it yet, due to its massive fan following and blockbuster status. For those of you who might know what it's about, we'll give you a little overview just to see if it piques your interest. Set in 2019, a Neo-Tokyo is plagued by corruption, terrorism, riots, and gang violence. But when gang member Tetsuo Shima starts to develop psychic abilities that he can't control, it's only a matter of time before things start to go from bad to worse. Relentlessly pursued by the government for his psychic abilities, Tetsuo searches for the one person who could help him, another powerful esper by the name of Akira. Will Tetsuo be able to control his powers? Will Akira be able to help him? Find out by renting or buying the film on Sky Store, Apple TV, and the Amazon Store, or stream it on Funimation. Before we get to number 1, here are a few honorable mentions worth a watch. Sword of the Stranger, Perfect Blue, Jin-Roh the Wolf Brigade, Hotarubi No Mori E, Barefoot Gen, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. In our top spot for number 1 film is none other than director Mikoto Shinkai's popular anime film, Your Name. This award-winning film stole people's hearts with its beautiful animation and heartwarming story. The film tells the story of Mitsuha Miyamizu and Taki Tachibana, a girl from the countryside and a boy from the city, who wake up one day in each other's bodies. Throughout the film, they must try and communicate by leaving each other messages on their phone's notepad in order to keep their lives as normal as possible when they're not in control of their own bodies. But when Taki discovers a terrible tragedy, time is of the essence to not only save Mitsuha, but her entire village. From stunning animation to its amazing soundtrack, if there's only one film you would watch from today's list, then this should be the one. It's available to rent or buy on the Amazon Store, Apple TV, Sky Store, and YouTube, or you can just stream it on Netflix. That's the end of our list. We hope you enjoyed it, and if there's any films that you'd recommend watching, let us know in the comments below. And what other anime content would you like to see us cover? Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all new top 10s from Anime Dive X.